Sanjay Jha comes back tonight. Rahul Narvekar of the NCP and Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party taking them on. MJ Akbar of the BJP. Shailesh Gandhi, former CIC and very prominent RTA activist, and Mr. Rajagopalan. Mr. Rajagopalan, let's start with you. You believe what's happening out here. What is happening there in Delhi? Now, everyone seems to be blaming one man called Manmohan Singh. It must be terrible to be Manmohan Singh at this point of time, where even your own party and your ex-cabinet colleagues are dumping everything on you.
Basically, Arnab, as I have been following the 2G very closely, because it is a centric of Tamil Nadu alliance, DMK versus Congress. It goes beyond Manmohan Singh. It ends at 10 Janpath politically. 7 times Rahul Gandhi visited Tamil Nadu. He did not meet Mr. Karunanidhi. And the DMK has been insisting that P. Chidambaram and Dr. Manmohan Singh should be summoned before Public Accounts Committee, Joint Parliamentary Committee, CBI Court headed by Mr. O.P. Saini. They are all gone negative on Dr. Manmohan Singh, and they protected P. Chidambaram and Manmohan Singh. Therefore, it is beyond Dr. Manmohan Singh, and it ends up at some other place other than 7 Racecourse Road.
Or is he casting aspersions on the Supreme Court of India that cleared Mr. Chidambaram?
No, question of Sanjay Jha, don't interpret.
No, is that a
Sanjay Jha, don't misinterpret.
No, do you know
why
that
did,
Mr. Chidambaram
why did not Chidambaram and
CBI court
Mr. Manmohan Singh appear before JPC?
Subramanian Swamy
why he did not go to JPC?
Are you commenting on the integrity of the Supreme Court? That's my question.
Don't misinterpret. Don't misinterpret, Sanjay Jha.
I think
Sanjay Jha, don't twist it. It ends with 10 Janpath. Why don't you protect 10 Janpath? Don't protect Supreme Court. You protect 10 Janpath.
You see, 1 second. 1 minute, please, Mr. Rajagopalan. You know the problem with you, Mr. Rajagopalan, at this point of time in the debate, you're not seeing...
Sanjay Jha is misleading, Arnab.
No, he's not misleading. He's leading you up the garden path and you're walking right behind him. Mr. Rajagopalan, my question tonight is, you know...
intentions of walking hand in hand with him off a garden path. Please be generous with me.
The question tonight is this. You see, it's very easy to blame Manmohan Singh, isn't it, MJ Akbar? It's the easiest strategy. I mean, do you think Kamal Nath is going there saying, Manmohan Singh disappointed me. Manmohan Singh made a mistake. It's terrible he made a mistake, but of course I'm talking about this in hindsight. He said that hindsight wisdom came to him 3 months after Manmohan Singh got kicked out of 7 Racecourse Road. It's opportunistic and cruel, if I may say so. Though I may say so not unexpected for the Congress party to behave in this manner with its ex-Prime Minister, MJ Akbar.
Give me a chance to...
I will give you a chance, but here the interpretation...
Yes, Arnab, I think you've been a journalist for the last decade as well. And we all know that Kamal Nath had another option, he mentions too, and that option was to resign or to raise his voice then. But be that as it may, we've also heard very many phrases about Dr. Manmohan Singh. We've heard him as, instead of Prime Minister, he was a puppet minister, he was a proxy minister, he was a parrot minister, any number of names. But who was he proxy for?
Yeah.
That is the real issue.
Absolutely.
He was proxy for 10 Janpath. And the real power, you know that, everyone sitting in your studio knows that, the real power was always exercised by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and later on by Rahul Gandhi. They are the ones who took the decision, and Dr. Manmohan Singh, for reasons best known to him, obliged them by agreeing to whatever they wanted. And on issues such as coalition politics, it was they who took all the decisions and what to give what to which partner. And I also would like to add, we've just seen the books at this moment by Vinod Rai and so on. Maybe somebody someday will write a book on Augusta helicopters. And then somebody will write a book on Vadra's land deals.
Oh, yes.
On each of these issues, Dr. Manmohan Singh kept quiet, kept his proxy, kept his silence going. So there are many, many questions, and I'm afraid not enough answers to throw Dr. Manmohan Singh to the wolves, alas, is doing justice and injustice.
Well, that does not mean that the country's sympathies should grow for Dr. Manmohan Singh because he was a willing participant.
No,
and in turn for keeping quiet, he remained the Prime Minister of India for 10 years. Isn't that the case, Shailesh Gandhi? For the Congress party which wants to win. There is no sympathy for Manmohan Singh
I think it's fair if I can respond to MJ.
Sir, let Shailesh Gandhi come in. You will respond.
I feel the Prime Minister of India, if the claim is made by people from his party that he is innocent, he doesn't know what he's doing. It is 10 Janpath. I think it's pathetic. I would not expect that from a CEO of a normal small company. The Prime Minister of India taking a position, or others taking a position on his behalf, saying that, what could he do? Poor man. If he was a poor man, he could at least resign.
I agree with you.
Kamal Nath could have at least resigned.
I agree.
I agree
all
with that.
people
I
who are
agree with
together in
that.
corruption, and perhaps when somebody does not get his cut,
I agree with that.
I agree with you. And instead today, 3 months after saying something completely different to the Parliament of India, which means you have lied to the Parliament of India, you've spoken untruths on the floor of the Parliament of India, you have pleaded ignorance on the Parliament of India, and when you're caught red-handed, you say, oh, you know what? Looking back on it in hindsight, we were wrong. Looking back on it in hindsight, the Prime Minister made a mistake. But it explains nothing. Does it explain anything, Rahul Narvekar? Does it explain why the Prime Minister was oblivious to the warnings he received in 2G, CWG and the coal scam from the government and outside? What does it explain?
Well, what comes to my mind...
You were part of the government.
What comes to my mind after listening to all your panelists and your views on this subject, does Mr. Vinod Rai's opinion or his take on this matter stand above the verdict of the Supreme Court, the verdict of the investigating bodies?
What about Kamal Nath?
Number two.
No, what about Kamal Nath?
Mr. Kamal Nath.
What about Kamal Nath?
Give me an opportunity to come to Mr. Kamal Nath. One sec. Number two, I don't understand this belated stage at which Mr. Rai, wisdom has dawned upon him to come out with these disclosures. I think he's been most dishonest to the country. After occupying the post that he did, if he knew about these things.
No, I'm really sorry that you say this.
If he knew about these things,
prove the word dishonesty.
Why did he not act in time?
When you say that.
Why did he not act in time?
Prove that Vinod Rai was dishonest.
My question is very simple.
Prove that Vinod Rai was dishonest.
My question is very simple. You tell me why, if he knew about these things, why did he not act in time?
You tell me
why was he quiet then?
You tell me.
Why was he quiet then?
No, you tell me.
This is nothing.
This is ridiculous.
This is nothing but opportunism. And
I say completely.
This is absolutely nothing but opportunism.
I think it's,
why did he not, if he was so honest,
if that is
and
the
he
case,
felt so deeply about it,
would you answer
why
the
did
question?
he not speak about it?
Well, let me tell you what is opportunistic. What is opportunistic is till today, the Congress party has neither explained nor spoken of why the Prime Minister chose not to step in and assert his authority. Why not? Why to explain why coalition politics overrode probity? You tell me why I should believe today. You tell me why I should believe. I'm sorry, I'll say this upfront today. I'm saying this upfront to you today.
I expect a simple answer from you. My question to you is very simple. I expect a simple answer from you.
Are you asking the question so you have to answer the question?
The post that he was occupying,
please.
He would have done justice to that had he raised these issues then.
He had raised most of the issues.
What are you talking about? Did the report say this then? I don't think you're aware about the fact.
1 second, please.
I don't think you're aware about the fact.
Hold on.
Most of Vinod Rai's reports.
Vinod Rai raised it in Public Accounts Committee. Whatever Rahul Narvekar says, Mr.
How much
he has done it. CAG has done it.
I'm amazed.
I think everybody except Gaurav Bhatia has come in at this stage of the debate. No, 1 second. You've come in twice.
No, 1 minute. Let me first tell you clearly, Arnab, that Mr. MJ Akbar is a manifestation of that fragile BJP party, which despite having 282 seats in parliament is so obsessed and insecure about the power of the ability of the Congress
Can you get to the point? Can you get to the point, Mr.
Why are they accusing everything on 10 Janpath and the Gandhi family? This is all the BJP can think of. I mean, there is a book by Vinod Rai. That is a one-sided version. Mr. Akbar, please cut out the rhetoric. If you have the
so it's a just a minute.
1 minute, 1 point.
No, I want
Supreme Court. By the way, Mr. Vinod Rai's
batting
book
of the
is
Supreme Court
already on a feet of clay. I'll tell you why. The Supreme Court.
Am I talking about his book?
The Supreme Court has no. We are discussing his book.
No, we are not discussing his book. We are discussing what he spoke to me about.
The Supreme Court has already said that all coal allocations since 1993 are illegal, which means it was a systemic flaw. It didn't have anything to do with specific government.
I now want to get Gaurav Bhatia.
The BJP trying to act sanctimonious.
20 minutes past
has
9.
to be the biggest joke.
20
I think the Bharatiya Janata Party needs to apologize to this country, because if you dig deep in both 2G and coal, the history begins with the NDA. It begins on 2G,
I heard
when
that
the
yesterday.
license fee was changed to revenue
I heard
share.
that yesterday.
And on coal,
just followed
Mr.
that.
Gandhi, just a minute.
And along
just a
with coal,
minute.
they
Can
should
you
also
challenge
talk
the
about
Supreme
iron
Court?
ore.
Sanjay,
Are
then
you
why A. Raja
challenging
was
the Supreme
arrested?
Court verdict?
Then why A. Raja was
The Supreme
arrested?
Court has called
Why
Now, come on, now, come on,
is
come
being
on.
tried today?
during the time of the BJP government. Let's not even try and pretend anything against
Mr.
it.
Jha, your consternation surprises me. Your anger amuses me.
Why should
But
it?
what shocks me, is that every single thing you say today
It's true.
is what you said yesterday.
Well,
There's no
let me tell
single
you,
new
truth has
argument
to be
you bring
repeated.
today. Gaurav Bhatia is
Truth
coming
has
to
to
the
be
debate.
repeated until it is
Truth
heard.
has to be repeated. It's like a broken record. Gaurav Bhatia is coming to the debate. Sanjay Jha presents no convincing argument tonight. That is new. Gaurav Bhatia.
Arnab, let's not get stuck in the names of these big personalities, be it the former Prime Minister or the President of the Congress. What here is most important, that there are two issues. One is the criminality part that needs to be investigated, and second is the decision making, whether it was arbitrary and it caused a huge
Why are you
loss
batting
to
for
the
10
national
Janpath?
exchequer.
Why are you batting
And
for 10 Janpath?
I am
What's
not batting.
brewing?
In
You
fact,
begin
I am
by saying let's
something
not
different.
discuss the Congress party, let's
something-
discuss technicalities.
No, Arnav, just because BJP tries to drag in the
No,
Gandhi
you
family,
not-
why are we discussing that?
You interrupted
The BJP
me.
has a political
You
objective.
interrupted me.
The BJP is trying to
Listen
use this
to me
book for the
first.
elections.
Let him.
No, the
Arnav,
BJP is trying
I
to
am
use the book for
saying-
the elections.
You don't say things you can't prove.
I'm not batting for them. In fact, I'm saying something different. What I'm saying is that the investigation should be fearless, not keeping in mind the personalities concerned. And let me tell Mr. Sanjay Jha that the Supreme Court only decided whether there should be a CBI investigation or not. The trial is now taking place. The investigating officer can always look into the allegations or the revelations made by the CAG, who happens to be a constitutional authority holder in the past, and if needed, then an additional charge sheet can be filed.
You are
As
telling
for
me some long
Colgate,
legal process.
The investigating
Yeah.
officer can
Yeah.
do the same.
It's a
These
long legal
revelations
process
are
that you
very
are saying. No,
serious in nature.
Gaurav Bhatia, this is
And-
a political debate. This is a political debate.
It is a political issue,
It's a
Arnav.
political
It is
issue.
against
It's a
with 10
political
Janpath.
debate.
Ultimately,
Simply we have to say that.
My question
It
is
is a political issue, DMK versus
Ultimately,
Congress.
who holds?
2G is a DMK versus Congress. It is a political
is
issue.
more
It
serious
is Sonia
than a
Gandhi
political
versus
debate,
Karunanidhi,
Arnav.
Sonia Gandhi
It is
versus
against
A.
a
Raja.
debate
Mr.
which
Mr.
decides
Mr.
on
Vinod
the
Rai is
accountability
perceived
of
to be a very
government.
clean and a good person and an honest
It is far
person,
more
which I
serious
totally
than a
agree
political
with.
debate.
But unfortunately, by making these charges at such a belated stage, he has put a question mark on the veracity, on the honesty of these charges. I
Really?
mean, Mr. Rai was in a position.
I
Mr.
don't
Rai,
think people think like that.
Mr. Rai was in a position
Sir,
to
you-
disclose all this then.
Yeah, so you know-
and he could have acted. He was accountable to the parliament of this country, not to the studios of Time Now and Mr. Arnab Goswami.
No, you don't
He should
have-
Why
made
he
these
did not appear
revelations
before
to the
Parliament then? Rahul, he should have appeared before JPC. Whatever you are depending now, Dr. Manmohan Singh and P. Chidambaram should have appeared before
No, but
JPC and
point
cleared
is-
their name.
One
But
minute.
who decides that? Who
Gentlemen,
decides that?
gentlemen,
Do you
yeah,
sitting in-
JPC decides
do
that.
do you
JPC.
sitting in the studio
It is
decide
Congress
that?
who stonewalled
Or does the
that.
Parliament and the committee decide?
No, let me ask
It
you.
is Congress which stonewalled that.
Since you believe Vinod Rai so deeply and intently,
No, Arnav.
why don't you ask, why don't you find
Arnav.
out, why don't you ask the current Prime Minister of the CAG allegations against the Gujarat government
Sidetracking.
reaching an
Sanjay, don't go
astronomical
there.
50,000
Sanjay, don't
crores?
go.
Let's discuss
Come back to that
Please ask
interview
Mr.
what
Akbar that
Arnab had
question.
with Vinod Rai.
Since everybody thinks that
Okay,
Mr.
now-
Vinod Rai
now
is
just-
a personification of virtues, then let us question every little thing.
24 minutes past 9 o'clock this evening. Gaurav Bhatia is coming to the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who want to tweet on which side is winning the debate, the
Arnab.
pro-Congress or the pro-BJP side, the Twitter hashtag is Vinod Speaks to Arnab. Gaurav Bhatia, yes please.
Arnab.
Yeah, Gaurav Bhatia.
Arnab, I read in the interview and I heard it, it said that they were compulsions of politics.
Yeah.
Compulsions of politics could be distribution of portfolios, but compulsions of politics could never be to commit an illegality, to do a criminal task. That cannot be compulsion of politics.
Exactly what I'm
and the
saying.
day it happened, I think the best thing for any Prime Minister would be to let that government go rather than do criminal acts.
1 minute,
Now
no
these
side
allegations are very serious in nature, and if any aspersions are casted upon a person who holds the highest office in the country, he should come forward and explain to the country at least that no, these allegations are wrong. And I think that would inspire confidence, which has been completely missing in the case of the
Suppose
previous
Akhilesh is
government. And I
accused
think if
of
they
a
are
large
so
amount
clean,
of corruption
they
and
should come
5 big
forward and
scams
explain.
break out in the Akhilesh government, and then somebody says, you know, Mulayam, they had no idea about it. Poor Mulayam. And terrible Akhilesh. Who's going to buy that Gaurabhati? Now it's a political question. I think MJ Akbar, we started by making one point. Who is the puppet and who is the puppeteer? No, one second.
Answer that.
Who is the
Supreme Court is already investigating.
Let me answer that.
The CBI is already following up.
One
The
second.
guilty will be punished. So
Arnab,
why
let
are
me
we trying
answer
to
that.
prejudge issues
Why are
here?
you getting nervous?
No, I'm not. Mr. A. Raja went to
Who's
jail.
prejudging?
Mr. A. Raja went to jail.
And he should be the
Corporate
first and last
CEOs
person who went to
corporate
jail.
CEOs from India's most high
Are you scared that
telecom
others will have to
companies
go
went
to jail?
So why are we doubting?
Are you
the
scared that
process
others
of
will have to go to
investigation?
jail?
Are we doubting a Supreme Court monitored CBI investigation?
Are you doubting that others may have to go to jail?
Let anybody who's done anything wrong
Are you
go to
worried
jail.
that if the entire
Let somebody
delegate-
from the BJP who's made a lot of money on the sly on the coal allocation go to jail?
Name the
Let
person.
somebody from any party go to jail. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so now-
Let truth prevail. We are in favor of it.
Okay, so the
But
truth-
right now, to presuppose that just because BJP holds a press conference
Mr. Jha-
and as usual tries to make political capital out of a book written by an ex-CAG chief who chose to remain
Mr. Jha-
remarkably silent many years
Mr.
ago,
Jha,
raises
brevity-
very serious questions.
Brevity is the soul of wit and at the heart of logic. Please be brief. Now the core issue is this, MJ Akbar, that who is the puppet and who is the puppeteer? Simple. Till now we are not addressing the main issue.
Arnab, can I just
One
make
second, I want to get
quick
MJ Akbar into the debate. He's been remarkably
Arnab.
quiet. 1 second, Mr. Akbar, yes please.
Well, I hope not remarkably. I hope as usually quiet. Arnab, I was just thinking during this course of your great repetitive Mr. Jha's, I mean, he's fulsome in his tirades. But I was thinking
I
that
choose to be
when
unusually
Dr.
open
Manmohan
most of
Singh
the time.
writes his book, he should probably use the title, not Crime and Punishment, but Crime and Nourishment. Because there have been a
Please,
decade
for
of
God's
crime
sake,
and a
improve
huge
your
amount
sense
of
of humor,
nourishment.
Mr. Akbar.
Let him go on,
Which has
please.
been going on. Well, the other thing which struck me is that everybody seems to think that Mr. Vinod Rai has made these exposures after the defeat of the Congress. No, Mr. Vinod Rai was there as CAG and he made his revelations when the UPA was at the height of its power. You remember that. So nobody can accuse Mr. Vinod Rai of not having integrity and
Let him
not
complete,
being
let him
honest and having the courage to make his point. And if you remember, at that time the Congress flipped and the Congress flopped when they made that dramatic assertion that it was zero loss to the exchequer. Do you remember that? Now I think memories tend to be very convenient. They tried every single trick in the book to avoid accusations, but all of it failed. The people were simply not going to buy a litany of lies. And if they were not going to buy it then, I'm afraid they are certainly not going to buy it now.
Which explains the 7 things the Congress cannot explain tonight. I mean, I can ask 7 things to Sanjay Jha.
Go ahead.
And he'll have not a single answer.
Go ahead.
There are 7 things the Congress party has not explained, and I will go through them one by one, ladies and gentlemen, since Sanjay Jha is trying to put up such a brave face today. 7 things they don't explain. Fact number 1, have they explained, Mr. Gandhi, whether the Prime Minister just made a so-called error of judgment? I mean, even when a journalist in a controversial circumstances talks about an error of judgment, we find it laughable. Whether the Prime Minister made just an error of judgment or an act of commission greater than just an error, have they explained that?
The claim
Have
is,
they explained that?
The claim is that there is a Dhritarashtra we had around
Who's
here.
Dhritarashtra.
I mean, and that's the tragedy of this.
Yes.
Also, people are doubting
No, but-
Vinod Rai's credibility.
Yeah.
I want to quote from a judgment of the Ontario court
Yes.
in Canada, which says, on May 15, 2007, Karigar and someone else met with Annie Dubey at the Consul General for Canada, Mumbai. During the meeting, Mr. Karigar stated that a company, Cryptomerix, had paid a bribe to Praful Patel. This is in a judgment in Canada, in Ontario, and based on this, Mr. Karigar was sentenced to prison. In India, we are not even talking about it. And everybody says Air India, if Vinod Rai talks about, he's talking nonsense.
Let him complete, please. Are you going to censor him because he's talking about your party senior, please?
No, he's
Go ahead, please.
I'm only trying to highlight the law as it prevails in India.